you're feeling like you always need somebody else's acceptance to feel good about yourself, you're not alone. But here's the thing, you can work on it step by step. In today's video, I'm going to share with you why it is you might be seeking other people's approval and what you can do about it. Welcome back, and if you're new to the channel, my name is Bennett. I'm here to share some ideas that have helped me move the needle just a little bit in my own personal life, and I hope you find them beneficial. To be honest, the reason why I'm making this video is because this is something that I have struggled with my whole entire life. And recently something happened to me where I felt like I wanted to share something, but I was only doing it to seek others' approval. You see, there was an area in my life where most people would look at it as if I succeeded. But me internally, I felt good about myself, but I didn't really appreciate what happened. But what was interesting is that I wanted to share the news with other people. And I've been down this road before, and every time I shared good news, what I'm really looking for is for them to get excited, which then allows me to get excited about the thing. But this time, for some reason, I felt a little bit more aware of it. And I started to hold back from telling people what was going on, and I started to think, why can't I be proud of myself? I was waiting to make sure that they were okay and they were happy for me until I was allowed to be happy for the success that I had. And then I realized I really got to do a deep dive in terms of why it is that I'm doing this. And I started to think, what if I never told anybody about it? Would I be able to feel good about myself? And then I realized what was going on. I realized that I didn't have the belief in myself, that I wasn't allowing myself to feel good about the success that I had. You see, on the one hand, I was constantly seeking people's approval to feel good about myself, and on the other hand, I wasn't allowing myself to feel good about it myself. And what I realized is that I'm hurting my self-esteem as well as needing approval of others. And there are two opposite sides of the same exact coin. And if I would be able to start to build my self-esteem up so I wouldn't need the approval of others, that was going to start to change the whole equation. You see, I was in this bad negative cycle of needing approvals, and that what was making me feel good. And I wouldn't allow myself to feel it because I felt numb to the success unless there's somebody else's emotion attached to it. I realized that if I could start working on my self-esteem though, that could change everything. So here are some tips that you can start to use right now to help yourself from stop seeking that approval. You see, the first thing you need to do is you need to acknowledge it. And for me, that was so difficult. I remember speaking to somebody and saying, hey, you know what? I think I'm really seeking approval of other people. And it felt so weird because on the one hand, I work on myself all the time, but on the other hand, it felt a little bit freeing. You see, I started to see the path in terms of which way I needed to go down. I didn't like seeking approval. It doesn't mean I can't share my wins with other people, but what it does mean is that I don't want other people's responses to affecting my feeling towards the success that I had. So once you could start to acknowledge that that is the issue, then we can start to move on to the next step, which is no judging yourself. You see, we have to come at this with curiosity. Why is it that you're seeking approval of others? Why is it that you have such a low self-esteem? Why do we not let ourselves be proud when we do succeed? And these were all questions that I started to ask myself. But I wasn't coming at it through judgment. I was coming at it through curiosity. I really wanted to know so I can start to fix it. So on the one hand, you might say to yourself, wow, I'm acknowledging the fact that I am seeking approval from others. But then on the other hand, you might be feeling bad about yourself. Which honestly, there's probably never a time to feel bad for yourself. Start getting curious because that's going to be the impetus for us to start moving forward and start to change this character trait. And that takes us to our next point in terms of really appreciating the things that you have done. Meaning anything that you look to share with somebody else where you would seek their approval. Why is it that you need to get their approval to feel good? What do you feel good about it? You see, nobody ever asks you about those questions, and we need to know why it is. And the interesting thing is that you might tell yourself that you don't know why you're seeking approval from others in those areas, but the fact that it matters to you, there really is a reason deep down inside. There's something that's important to you, and that is what we need to find. So start thinking about what about the thing that you're going to share is special to you. And if you can come up with 3 different things, that is a huge win. For so many people, they don't think about this stuff, and they just keep getting in this bad cycle. Stop yourself and ask the question, what about this thing is driving me to share it with others? And before we get to the last 2 tips, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below so you get more content like this that you can start applying in your own personal lives to start taking it to the next level. The 4th idea that you need to start to do is to recognize that once you have the thing that you want to share with others, and once you know that initially you're looking to seek approval from others, let's start to share these ideas, but under the condition that we're not going to react based on how they respond to what it is that we're going to be telling them. This doesn't mean going to the one person whose opinion you really care about. We're talking about low-level acquaintances, maybe somebody you don't even know, and you're just sharing an idea with them and you don't really care what they have to say about it. And if we can start to slowly build up around the ring of friends that we have, you're gonna start to see that you can start to initiate more conversation and not care about how they're reacting on the other side of what you're saying. This is where the push comes to shove, and we need to start training ourselves differently. So after you have that idea and you know what about it you appreciate, let's look to start to share it a little bit with people and start to get that feedback. Yes, you might get emotional, but understand that that's all positive feedback. It's not just gonna happen in one shot. And if we could start to slowly build it, that's gonna be the thing that's gonna be able to help us stop feeling so emotional when somebody starts to react. And the last and final tip is something that you can do every single day. Start to go back in your day and start to recognize what are 3 things that are happening in your life that you're proud of. Like we said earlier, the basic idea of needing approval from others is that we don't approve of ourselves. We need to start building our own confidence, our own self-esteem. And by acknowledging 3 things that we're proud of that we have done every single day, it's only going to help us out. There's no reason why you need to feel stuck when you're about to share news with somebody, waiting to seek their approval. And if we can slowly build out of this, I'm telling you, your life is going to change. And if you feel like you can't get ahead in life and for some reason you just feel so stuck, make sure to take a look at this next video where we share with you the one mistake that so many people make.